Hello and welcome to Mangatory 96, and today we're going to talk about High School DxD. As we all know, Issei is one of, if not the best harem protagonist of all time. What makes him such a great protagonist is the fact that he has an actual relationship with the girls in his harem, with them having real reasons as to why they have fallen in love with him. This is something that 95% of harem manga and anime severely lack. Therefore, let's take a closer look on the kind of relationships Issei has with the members of his harem. However, considering that the list is quite long, I decided to split this topic into several videos to make it more digestible. With this one covering Issei's legal wife and the woman who will give birth to his first child. But before we start, here's the spoiler warning, as we spoil a lot of things in this video, so if you don't want to be spoiled, I would highly recommend that you're going to read the light novel, as it is an enjoyable read. For everyone else, let's start with the first wife, Rias. Rias is the woman who reincarnated Issei after Renara killed him and the woman he loves. When she first summoned him, she treated him as a special case, knowing that he had a lot of potential. Issei was attracted to her like any other girl, but disliked her for forbidding him from associating with Asya for being one of the fallen angels' side and saving her from them. That is, until she realized that they were up to something shady in their town. After helping him save and resurrect Asya, as well as killing the woman who murdered him, Issei began developing more respect and admiration for Rias and an eventual crush. In Volume 2, as time went on, she later started to fall in love with him, and her love became deeper after he saved her from Riser and for recognizing her as an equal rather than an heir of the Gramarye or a devil. She kissed Issei for the first time, following the latter's duel with Riser. She often gets jealous when other girls flirt or tempt him, even saying that Issei belongs only to her. She loves him very much and is willing to do anything with him. In response, Issei will do anything to protect her, as he loves her just as much as she loves him. To add to that, by Volume 3, Rias now usually sleeps next to him naked in the bed and joining him in the bath, showcasing her bold attempts to seduce him. For this reason, she says that she has no problems with letting Issei see her naked and even lets him touch her breasts from time to time. However, she still gets angry whenever he plots something behind her back without her permission or knowledge, and for that she felt it necessary to punish him with nearly 1,000 demonic-empowered spanks. In Volume 5, Rias starts becoming Issei's source of power and motivation, more so whenever he touches her breasts, like when he poked her nipples, which allowed him to achieve his balance breaker. In Volume 6, Issei, going berserk under the effects of Juggernaut Drive, caused Rias to be distraught over the possibility of losing him. When coming to the conclusion that her breast would cure him, she put up with the embarrassment when it meant saving him. In Volume 7, Rias received her nicknames such as Switch Princess by Biko, officially used in Issei's Opie Dragon, an underworld children's television show, and Crimson Bus Princess by Azazel. As Issei was nervous on the night before the battle with Loki, Rias comforted him as she snuggled next to him. She expressed her feelings that even though she hates those nicknames, she doesn't mind using her breasts for Issei's power-ups, as she wants to be the source of his power and doesn't care if he is the Opie Dragon. This act touched Issei to ease his nerves. In Volume 8, Issei and Rias go through a ritual where they are tested to see if Issei is worthy of being a candidate for Rias's future husband. They both pass, and although Issei remained oblivious to the situation, he had mentioned that he would like to marry Rias one day. In Volume 10, Issei was given permission from Rias's mother to start a harem to keep the girls around him happy. During this time, he was struggling to overcome his trauma that was caused by Renare. This trauma is the reason why he could not believe that the women around him would actually be attracted to him. This caused tension to form between Rias and Issei, such as when she attempted to make love to him and he still referred to her as president, and reminded oblivious on how she felt towards him. That is, until he proclaims his love for her in front of the audience during the rating game against Sarok. He professed his love for her again at the club room and called Rias by her given name for the first time, to which she cried tears of joy and confessed her love back. After becoming his girlfriend, Issei always assures Rias that she is the most important woman in his life, much to her happiness. In Volume 11, As Issei began to slowly die due to Samuel's curse, he lamented over his regret that he couldn't return to them as promised, but was glad enough that he was able to confess his love to Rias when he died. By volume 12, Rias was completely heartbroken by the news of Issei's death, but gained a great deal of hope when she found out that his spirit was still alive through his evil pieces. Upon his return, he felt joy being in Rias' embrace and the sensation of her kiss once again. In volume 17, their relationship has improved to the extent that despite going out on a date with someone else, Rias chooses to believe in Issei and the fact that he will still love her. At the end of the volume, Issei asks Rias if he could talk to her casually in private times, to which she happily replies yes. In volume 22, Rias was there to allow Issei to be promoted to High Class Devil during the ritual in which she placed the crown on his head, which made Issei a king. Later the two became engaged when Issei proposed to Rias after her graduation ceremony, making her his first bride. In volume 25, while celebrating at the Hyoudou residence following the defeat of Vidar, the girls Asia, Zenovia, Irina, Akeno, Kuroka, Koneko, Rosvaisa and Rias tell Issei to show his love for them, which he does and tells them that every one of them is his bride. This statement reveals that Issei is now planning to marry all 8 of them. Later in True Volume 1, when their teams were both matched up against each other, the two promised to give it their all in their upcoming fight. In the following volume, Rias even jokingly stated that she would cancel their engagement if Issei was to go easy on her. During their date, when asked if he can defeat her, Issei replied that as her servant, he has sworn to become the strongest pawn and he wants her to watch over his progression as he intends to defeat her, much to her happiness, as she swore to defeat him too. Moving on to Akeno. When Akeno first met Issei, she thought of him as a cute kohai with whom she could spoil and flirt with, but as time went on, she started to see that Issei was very kind and caring. She began showing a lustful attraction towards him after witnessing his determination against Riser. His kind acts were fully shown when he defended Akeno against Kokabill's insult towards her heritage, which eventually caused her to completely fall in love with him in volume 3. She isn't afraid to get into fights over him with the other girls, as she loves him just as much as they do. She does get jealous when other girls get closer to him, though she's a lot calmer about it than Rias and the others. In volume 4, she would often make advances towards him, usually being more proactive than the other girls, which annoyed Rias the most, as the two fought throwing blasts at each other. Later, Akeno would open up about her mixed blood heritage to Issei. Despite his hatred towards fallen angels, he stated that he never hated her, seeing her as his kind senpai. This only caused her to further fall for him and embrace him, and is fine being third in his heart after Rias and Asia, as she likes the idea of an affair. In volume 5, her antics became more bold as she also sneaks into his bed naked. Issei became the source of her motivation and was angered when Sona's team became victorious in the rating game. In volume 6, under Koneko's suggestion, Issei asks Akeno on a date should she defeat the Eudora spirit as a way to motivate her. In volume 7, upon going on their date, she loses her Onesama aura around him and acted like a normal girl her age, which Issei admired a lot. When the thought of Akeno someday getting a boyfriend popped into his head, Issei was determined to make the best of this so that he would be jealous of Issei. Their date eventually led to a street of love hotels while trying to escape their friends pursuing them. Issei was not bored with going and having sex with Akeno when she assured him that she didn't mind, where their date came to an end when Odin and Akeno's estranged father arrived. During this time, Issei would learn about Akeno's past in more detail concerning her mother's death and how she blamed her father for it. Understanding her pain, Issei attempts to help her overcome this, later going as far as to resist having sex with her as it would have further complicated things. Instead, he simply gave a gentle embrace, showing how serious he was about her. Near the end of the Battle of Loki, Issei was able to reconcile with Akeno with her father. This led Akeno to both kiss and confess to Issei that she loves him in front of all the other girls. In volume 10, during the preparation for the school festival, Akeno scolded him when he unknowingly hurt Rias' feeling by not calling her by her name and not acknowledging their relationship. She later came to comfort Issei when she figured out why Issei was unable to confess to Rias and would look at the other girls with frightening eyes, saying that she likes him and that as a fallen angel herself, she can replace Renare who hurt him. She told him to have more confidence as she could not take another step forward in their relationship with him until he confessed to Rias, as she promised to stay with him forever. She later picked at Issei's confession to Rias, saying that she can get serious about having an affair with him now. In volume 12, she was heartbroken when she thought that Issei had died, so much so that she disconnected herself from reality, remembering only the times that she spent with Issei, and cried terribly with her father as he comforted her. She along with everyone else later regained hope after finding out that Issei's spirit was alive, and she embraced him when he returned, begging him to never leave her again. She is psychologically dependent on Issei, as shown by her behavior after believing he was dead and her display of anger when he lost in the rating game against Sona. Akeno gave an overwhelming killing intent towards Siegfried, who was a member of the group responsible for Issei's death during the fated encounter on Ajok Beelzebub's research center rooftop. She was so overjoyed with tears when Issei returned to them, she hugged him, asking to never leave her again. Issei also knows that she is emotionally fragile, so he cares for her a great deal and has promised her that he will not die again or cause her any pain. Akeno has stated that she would love to bear Issei's children during the visit of Milikas in the human world and several instances afterwards. She was depressed when Issei had to pretend to be the boyfriend of Rosweise in front of the latter grandmother in volume 17, but soon cheered up when Rias told Issei that he would have to go on a date with her and Akeno after his ordeal with Rosweise. In volume 22, Issei both confessed his love for her and proposed to her through the broadcast of the rating game between his team and Barakwell's team during his final fight with Barakwell. After the events, Akeno has constantly been calling Issei darling and started behaving like she is his wife, despite being only engaged to one another. In volume 23, Akeno would even take more bold actions such as calling Issei husband or dear and wash every part of his body when bathing together. She sometimes expresses jealousy whenever Rias's breasts are used to assist Issei, which is why in True Volume 1 she was glad that her breasts were used for Issei's pie font technique. With this, I covered everything that I wanted to cover on Issei's relationship with Rias and Akeno. And that'll be all for this video. If you like this video, leave a like, leave your thoughts in the comments below or subscribe to the channel for more manga reviews and One Piece content. And until next time, take care.